and you turned it into, I don't know what it was. But do you know what I'm talking about?
We still use it on the machine today.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
But it looks a lot prettier because I don't do it.
So it wasn't like Nick went out and bought this part. You spent 5 or 6 hours or whatever it was turning down this chunk of metal into the part that you were using. So in the beginning, it wasn't like, you were using suppliers and you were just throwing money at everything. Mm-hmm. Literally taking chunks of metal and turning them into parts. It was a fascinating thing to witness. And so I just wanted to make it clear. It's not like, you hear things on the radio where they're saying like, do you have an idea? Come to us, we'll help you design it, and we'll get it all taken care of. Like literally, you guys did everything.
Everything. Angle grinders, the foundry had all kinds of tools that we'd rent, and I didn't know how to use any of them. Mm-hmm. And I just said, well, if that guy can do it, why can't I? And so I just took what I had and went for it. I had no funding, I had nothing.
So you're literally taking that business mindset where it's not that there's stuff you can't do, it's just stuff you haven't learned how to do.
That's correct.
It was a really cool thing. It was something I learned, unfortunately, watching Nick over the course of 4 or 5 hours. Because I don't know if you've ever watched somebody turn something on a metal lathe. It is unbelievably boring. Except for the fact that it could go really wrong, and at which point,
I think it did, didn't it?
Not when I was there.
No, okay. Well, I've had things explode. Oh! Thank God I have on my fingers still.
As the Mulch Mate's going forward, and I'm starting to see it more come to life, and I'm hearing some of the different specifications for it, and price points and things like that. Mm-hmm. And my first thought as a solo lawn guy is like, this is not geared towards me. Who because I'm not spending what you're asking for a mulch thing.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm not spending that on a Harbor Freight debris unloader.
Right. No, I get it. Trust me.
So who is this thing geared towards?
So it was geared towards the company that did anything over 500 yards of mulch a year, and hopefully a trickle of stonework here and there. Typically, those companies either are growing at a rapid rate, and one of those challenges when you grow is finding people. So we figured, okay, if you're doing over 500 yards or you're doing anything over $700,000 a year worth of revenue, this machine starts to come into play at that point. Once you cross over into the over 1,000 yards or over $1 million worth of business, the Mulch Mate really comes into its own. And internally, my thoughts were, okay, where's the money? Okay, where do I go? Where do I find the money? Well, the money was in that $1 million+ range. And so I thought, okay, I have a few products that I'd like to talk about and do all that kind of stuff, and one day we'll get to, but this machine is what we're coming out with. So where is my success going to be? Where have the best opportunity? And so that's where we kind of geared it towards. And the pricing of the machine wasn't priced off the customer; it was priced off of the value that it brings.
Right. So, well, and to that effect, I mean, you've had some crazy stories come in.
I had another one today. I haven't even told you.
Are you willing to share?
Sure. So there's a guy in Louisville, Kentucky. He actually came to GIE this year, saw it for the first time there. He's been watching us on Instagram. But my guys were out there and they talked to him. They wanted to see to make sure that this guy installed the machine right, which ultimately he didn't. But that's why we're going to check it out, because we back our machine. The machine isn't even mounted correctly, and yet they did 4,000 yards of mulch since, I think, middle of February with no extra guys. Listen to this, no extra guys. He said he doubled the amount of mulch he put down in 2019 from 2018. He added no people, and when he was done in 2018, it was in June. Oh my God. June! So here it is, the end of April, right? He's a month and a half or two ahead of schedule. He's done double the work, and he's added no employees. What?
That's unbelievable.
I didn't even expect that.
And see, that's the thing that drives me nuts about the Mulch Mate concept is how stupid simple it is.
Oops.
You literally, I mean, because I hate to keep saying this because I don't want to be insulting, but you can buy this for $50 at Harbor Freight.
You think you can?
You think? Well, yeah.
I did.
Yours is much nicer.
I literally went to Harbor Freight and bought 2 of their kits and literally put it together, put it on my truck, and prototyped off of it. Because that's the concept.
Yeah.
I just made it massive.
is unreal.
Yeah.
Because and like because I mean even for somebody who doubted in the beginning, which was me.
It's okay.
Like
I forgive you.
Thanks, man. You see what the results guys are getting. There was another guy that when I was working here during the winter, there was another guy that started telling you about what happened with him. It was something like a job that normally takes 2 weeks.
Oh God, yeah. So I think that was the one. I think he did 500 yards of mulch. I think this might be the one you're talking about. So he did 500 yards. I think he said it normally takes him 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And he did it this year with 350 yards because the augers fluff it.
Right.
He used 4 guys instead of, I think, 7 or 8. And I think he had it done in a few days.
I mean, that's obnoxious.
I can't make that up. That doesn't even make sense. Like, I can't even advertise that because you're not going to believe me.
No, it sounds nuts. If you told me, like, because I remember kind of crunching the numbers when, you and I were talking about this, like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. And I remember crunching the numbers, and the numbers were a little ridiculous as far as what the savings, time savings, and man-hour savings were. Mm-hmm. But even based on those numbers, once it gets out into the real world, the numbers are so much more outrageous.
They're way bigger than you think.
But, the other thing that's fascinating, because I've been looking on Instagram, is that you see that people are... they're finding innovative ways to use it.
Yeah.
I saw that video, I think you reposted it, of a guy walking along the side of a road.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
So that job, he's done that job for like the last 7 years. He charges the lady $22,000 to do that job every year. I needed more jobs like that when I was doing landscaping. But
just to clarify, what are they doing?
So they were taking topsoil and fixing the grade along the sides of the driveway. And his driveway's like, I think he said it was like 2,000 feet long. It's really long. It's up in northern Maryland, big properties. And this lady apparently has this issue all the time, and he fixes it for her. So he charges her $22,000. Normally it costs him, by the time it's labor and material and fuel and time, I think it's like $12,000 is what it cost him to do that job. And it takes a few days, and it makes a mess of the driveway because he gets skid loaders and all that, moving the dirt around. With the Mulch Mate, he used 7 guys. He did it in 4 hours, and it only cost him, I think he said, it was shy of like $3,000. He's like, dude, I paid for half my machine in a day on one job.
That is outrageous.
So he calls me, he goes, by the way, I'm buying 6 more machines. I'm like, good Lord, dude. Oh my goodness.
That is outrageous. And speaking of Instagram and things I've seen on it, I already know the answer to this question, but how much are you spending on marketing this machine? Nothing.
Literally, it's all right here.
It's just you posting on.
It's just me.
Instagram and cool kids making videos and that is just amazing.
There's one thing we did spend money on, and I found this out a week or two ago, was we were featured in Landscape Management Magazine. Mm-hmm. We didn't approach them; they approached us. Typically, it's $8,000 per page to advertise in this magazine. Like, no, I'm not spending that kind of money. Like, I ain't got that kind of money. So they said, look, how about this? We want Mulch Mate in our all-electric issue in January. How about $1,000 a page? And we'll give you a third spotlight in the normal magazine, not the electrical magazine, and we'll feature you in another month's magazine issue somewhere else. How do you say no to that?
You don't.
It's like God just like pops up and goes, here's a gift. Okay, I'll take it. Thank you very much. So money dollar-wise, that is the only thing that I think we've spent money on, actual advertising. Everything else, the cost of the website, like hosting it, do you include that?
I don't know.
I don't. That's a cost.
I usually do kind of include it, but I mean that's nothing.
We built the entire thing here.
Yeah.
Like my dad did all that. I didn't do any of it. I just provided pictures and content and different things. But just hosting it, whatever, that wasn't much. A couple $100. Yeah. But that's it.
That is just insane. So, what's in the future for Dawson Manufacturing? Are you guys, you're focused on the Mulch Mate right now?
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing?
So, as of today, this moment right now, we're doing everything we can to hear our customers, understand, what things they like, what things they want to improve upon, and so we dial in the machine as best we can. We don't, you want to be a master at like a few things and not a jack of like too many. because then you're not a master of them. You're not a master of any, right? So we've got a few things that we want to improve on Mulch Mate. We have actually a list in engineering right now of the DS2000 of all the upgrades we want to have. We want to have like backup sensors, and there's a few things I can't talk about, but like super cool, innovative things. Like the machine will actually have GPS in it, and you'll be able to track what it's doing. That's all I can tell you. Okay, how it does it, you're never going to find out unless you buy one. So there's some really cool, innovative things there. We have some patents issued for a few other products that are coming. More guys geared like you, maybe not you in particular, because you're like focused on grass, but guys that are doing some landscaping, hardscaping. I've got some products that will just knock your socks off, I think, at a crazy cool, good price that it'll be very easy to obtain.
Yeah, Nick, I saw on Instagram recently, posted a very ominous post in his story. It was him in front of a mower, and it said prototyping. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it was fun. I like messing with people.
So just to wrap it up, Nick, because most of the people that watch my channel are they're smaller guys. They're either solo or they're just starting out in the lawn business. Sure. Do you have any advice you'd like to pass on to them?
So your journey is going to be rough. You're going to have bumps on the road. I had a young man here over the weekend, and he picked up on something I told him, which was interesting that he picked up on it, but it was cool. You're going to have bumps. Hit them as hard as you can, as fast as you can to get over them, and just move on. I was talking to my wife on the way over here, and it's like your failure should be your fuel, not what gives you fear, right? So a lot of times guys kind of freeze in the moment when they have an issue. Don't freeze. Use that as your fuel. Push yourself harder, faster, further, and know where you're going. Like when I started my business, I knew that I didn't want to be the guy cutting grass. I didn't want to break my back. I didn't want to, one of the things I had a fear of was getting skin cancer because I was always out in the sun, right? And I thought, okay, one day I just don't want to be that guy. It wasn't that I wanted to be the boss. It was never about that. So you combine that, and then my final rule of thumb would be, I just lost it. Where'd it go? I have no idea where it went. Do not chase the money. Do things the right way and do your best at it, and the money will follow. If you're chasing money all the time, it actually clouds your vision. Leave that alone. Worry about doing your job the best you can, taking care of your customer, cover all your bases, have your contracts in place, cover your butt where you can, because there are bad people in this world, and I'm sure you've dealt with them. I know I've dealt with them. Do your job right. The money will handle itself. Period. That's my 2 cents.
I thought you were going to say subscribe to the Dulin Cut Trim YouTube channel. But okay.
Do that too.
Well, Nick, I think this went pretty well, man.
Yeah, it was excellent, man. Thanks
you. Thanks a lot.
I really appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Good.
That's it.
Cool.